About to get started. It's 6 a.m. and it's time to work on our kettlebelling. What can I say? How are you doing this morning? I hope you're doing all right. I'm doing okay. Look, I'm back. I even made it to a second day in a row, despite still feeling a bit lethargic and mm, meh. But decided to drag myself out of bed this morning and to get it on. We're going to do some simple stuff. To turn on an every minute on minute timer, do a bit of warm up, and then once we've done the warm up, we're going to get on with some kettlebell swings, and that's going to be it today. And we're going to keep talking about being consistent and why that is important and how that's going to help us. For those of you who are watching, my name's Toby. I'm 40 years old. I train to live an active, self-sufficient, and adventurous life. I do that by minding my sleep. Try to get between 7 and 9 hours every night. Do that by minding what I eat. I try to eat within my energy balance. I try to eat 120 to 150 grams of protein in a day to meet my strength and muscle development goals. I do strength training, conditioning training, and mobility training. I also try to spend a lot of time with people I love and care about, try to do things that I enjoy, and generally try to live a stress-free life. So there we are. That's my general recipe for health and fitness. What about you? I left a little poll up if you're interested in letting me know what you're working on. And this morning we're just going to get started. We're going to do a little bit of a warm-up, and then we're going to do some kettlebell swings with the 16, and we'll see how that goes. So for the warm-up, just going to start with a little bit of mobility at the top. And you can hear maybe that I'm not 100%. It's just so weird, like I'm not ill, but I'm not 100% either. And I feel a bit weak, actually, if I'm completely honest. Which is why I'm curious to find out where we, or where I, will end up with the kettlebells today. If I am really weak because I've caught a bug, or if I'm just imagining things because my mind is working against me. Well, we'll find out in a few minutes. Let's talk about being consistent and the importance of being consistent. And I talked about this a bit yesterday as well, right? Like, being motivated is great. Having discipline is great. Being inspired is great. Because they're all part of starting the energy, starting a journey. But I've been at it for quite a while now, and if you've been on this channel for a while, you'll know that I've been here for a bit over a year, showing up almost every day, trying to do the work with some ups and downs. Right now we're going through a bit of a down. We're showing up every day is a challenge. And there are many different ways we can deal with that, for sure. But the point of the matter is that the way to get the results I got, or have gotten in my life, have been by minding my sleep, eating properly, and by eating properly I mean skipping snacks, and sticking to a generally healthy meal plan and dietary choices. showing up every day to do either some mobility or kettlebell workout or going for runs. And over the last month or so, 6 weeks, I've faced some setbacks. I don't know if you remember, but in December, I hurt my foot, my left foot. Doctor said maybe it got slightly bruised because I didn't use it properly during a workout, so I couldn't go for my runs anymore. Okay? Well, it was cold anyway, that's fine. Then I overdid it a bit with a kettlebell, unintentionally, because usually, I work my way up 8, 12. I was throwing around 24 kilos when I have no business doing that. Tried a 16 for a couple of sets. And in the moment that felt quite good. But the next day felt like my neck and shoulder were having some issues. And having suffered a neck herniation on that side, decided to take it a bit easy. Did only mobility. But then everyone got ill, and it just became a bit hard to stay on track, also because I started to feel slightly iffy. And now for the last week, in this strange place where I felt like I've been ill, but never developed a fever. But I'm having a hard time waking up in the morning. And like I just said, I feel generally 9, 10, weak. And I have no explanation for it. So I was talking with a colleague the other day, and he said, well, I had this thing over Christmas where I just felt terrible, and it lasted 4 weeks, and I never really got sick, but I didn't really feel 100% either. It's like, huh, all right, interesting. I think the takeaway from that was, for me, well, if this is going to last 4, 5, or 6 weeks, right, I better discipline myself into showing up and doing the work. Because otherwise, we're going to end up having a bit of a problem. And we're at 16, 10 times 16 swings this morning. That's what we're aiming for. And I have a bit of a problem 4 weeks down the line. And at the same time, still need to see the physiotherapist to have my shoulder looked at and fixed. All right, here we go. So how does that work out, right? Well, it comes back to that idea of consistency versus motivation versus discipline. I'm convinced discipline can help. I can discipline, talk yourself into doing a lot of things and doing them for a while. And discipline yourself into a calorie deficit for a while. And discipline yourself into the gym for a while. You can discipline yourself to wake up early for a while or to go to bed early. But in the end, if we don't enjoy it, what we're doing, if it feels like pain, if it doesn't give us a sense of reward or accomplishment or achievement, doesn't matter how hard we discipline ourselves, we're not going to keep doing it. Third set done, right? So we can discipline ourselves. You can also look for this thing called motivation. We can look at motivational talks online from a coach. Look at examples, role models. Look at people who've accomplished what we've accomplished and set our sights on that. Definitely very possible. Figure out our reasons. Fourth set, figure out our reasons why we're doing what we're doing. But also motivation is just going to be the thing where, okay, I feel motivated. Now I need to look for some more motivation and some more motivation. Some more motivation. Have you ever noticed how you never need discipline or motivation for the things you enjoy in life? Why is that? Because we want to show up and do them. Now, not everything that is good and healthy for us, we maybe enjoy or want to do limitless amount of times of. The question we need to ask ourselves is, well, why? Right? What is it about sitting behind a desk all day and then sitting behind a TV in the evening sixth set. Now my arms are starting to complain. What is it about that is so much more appealing than going for a walk, working in a garden, tending the garden, exercising, joining a sports club, doing something physical or mentally stimulating, visiting an art exposition. Whew. All right. Right. But why do we enjoy it so much? Why don't we enjoy the other things? Because in the long run, it's that all those other things are incredibly beneficial to our health and well-being. Whereas in the long run, sitting on the TV, on the couch, every day to watch your favorite shows or to play your favorite game. Whew. On to the ninth set. Why is that so important to us? What do we get out of it? And it's a trick, right? It's an idea that sitting there for 3-4 hours at the end of the day and consuming content that you're paying for somehow benefits you. And we're at the last set. So there's some food for thought there for us all. Right? And going back to the idea of being consistent. What do we consistently fill our times with? And I've settled in to a belief that is what life is supposed to be, because it helps us escape the reality that escapes the reality that being fit and being healthy that's all I got this morning, by the way. And the work that we put into that is rewarding in and of itself. That was 160 swings. We're going to do some exercises for my rotator cuff because that needs to be fixed. But the training's more or less over. So we have in this question, all right, I have this lifestyle and I think I'm quite happy with that lifestyle. Great, Good for you. I'm happy for you also. The most important thing is health and fitness is incredibly personal. So you don't think your health or fitness needs to be worked on in any way, then you're good. You can do all the things you want to do. I would ask you to ask yourself the question, well, is my health and fitness really as good as it can be? Not only today, but for the next 10 years, for all the things that I want to do. Maybe the answer still is yes. That's great. You probably got it figured out. You're watching this channel, browsing fitness YouTube. I don't know. The answer might be nope. And I think there lies some... It's this shoulder, by the way, that needs work. There lies some challenge and some questions we need to ask ourselves. But again, it's a starting point, right? Do we think that our health and fitness is good enough? One. And two, do you think that it is going to stay good enough for the foreseeable future? And in my case, I think the foreseeable and unforeseeable future taken together are the next 40 years. And I know it's on your mind if you're 40 years old, just like me. I know that some of the things that you're struggling with, thinking of, just are, well, I notice that my ability to recover and to do the work is diminishing, isn't it? Why is that? Well, biological fact. We reach that point where regeneration gets harder. It's not impossible, but we require more rest and more care about our nutrition and our sleep and the exact kind of strength and conditioning that we're trying to do in order to make the most out of make the most out of I guess make the most out of life and our fitness journey. So how do we then do that? And hey there, duh, hello, again. I think you've been here before, haven't you? Welcome back, I should say. How have you been? How's your fitness journey been? I hope you've been doing well. And I hope life has been treating you well. So, we were just talking about that health and fitness journey that we might want to be on. And then where does it start? Well, like I said, I look ahead at the next 30 or 40 years. And I wonder if I'm going to be able to keep up with the demands of life, free of disease and discomfort. All right? And now that's the one that I think we often forget, is that when it comes to getting older, it's not about being able to run a marathon. You know, that's cool. If that's your goal, go ahead, right? But you need to just look at the people you know in their 70s and 80s. This is such an annoying exercise. And I want you to wonder, am I going to be on a lot of medication at that stage in my life? Am I going to be able to walk, I don't know, 5 kilometers, jog, run, lift my groceries, carry them home without the risk of injuring my back? Am I to be able to take a holiday, drive somewhere comfortably, have the stamina, the strength, and the wherewithal to do the things that I want to do? And I think the question there, and the answer there, if you're not investing in your health and fitness by sleep, nutrition, and exercise now, the answer would be probably not. Right? Hey, reach a 40K. Wow, good stuff. That's impressive. So like 40K extra weighted. That's incredible. Yeah, I know. I've been doing it for a year lightly, but since I keep injuring my shoulders, the physio and I decided that we need to do more of it, especially with kettlebells, especially with snatches, swinging them overhead. Just needed to grab an extra weight for it, especially with snatches. Just a problem I want to fix, because losing mobility, right, and for me it expresses itself, for example, when I need to move one of the kids' chairs closer to the table. There's a little bit of pain because I irritated my rotator cuff because it wasn't ready for the load or the strain I put on it. So how do we fix that? Well, we fix that by working smart on the rotator cuff in different directions and different angles, so they get stronger and stronger, so we can do more and more over time. The 40 kilogram weighted pull-up is impressive. Well done. I must have felt really good to be able to do it. And if you look back at all of the time and effort since you said finally, you've probably been working towards that point for a while, and the journey pays off, right, over time. I think that's the one we forget, right? And I keep coming back to this idea of consistency, being consistent versus being motivated or disciplined, because motivation is definitely going to help get us started. Motivation is definitely going to help. Felt incredible. That's good. Enjoy that feeling. Remember it. And I don't know how old you are, but being in my 40s, I realized that enjoying that feeling and savoring it and taking it for what it was in the moment, rather than going about chasing the next achievement, has proven to be more conducive to better mental health and happiness in my life. So, motivation is great to help us get started. We can see a problem, we want to fix it. We can see our health goal, we want to work towards it. Then we need to change our behaviors. And too often we fall into the trap, well, I have to. You don't have to do anything in life, right? You have to breathe. You have to use the bathroom once in a while. You probably have to pay your taxes, I think the joke is. But generally, yeah, you don't have to do anything. And that's the problem with discipline. We might have the motivation and the idea, but then we pick an activity that requires us to force ourselves over time to work towards our goals. And like I said, I give you 30 days on discipline, 30 days on motivation and discipline, maybe 45, before your mind says, all right, whatever, man, I'm done with this. Every time this is painful and you force me to do it, I'm not going to do it anymore. That's right, the journey is the most important part. Hey, poor man's Jim, what's up? Doing all right? You're going to see I'm doing rotator cuff work. And by the way, Jesse has Jace, cool video where he does the side-by-side live with people. I like that. So, let's get back to consistency, right? Because I'm also almost at the end of my workout. And I want to give you a complete philosophy, not just a half-baked one. The consistency is different. The consistency is I eat every day, and I'm assuming you eat every day as well. I travel to work every day. I travel back from work every day. I read my children bedtime stories every day. I shower every day. Cold shower, 2.5 minutes. Oh, man. That stuff. That's cool. I don't think I'd be able to keep up with him. So, I'm consistent in a lot of things that I find important that have become habits that I don't even really think about, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Like, is it ever a question in my mind that I'm going to take a shower? Is it ever a question in my mind that I'm going to read bedtime story? Is there a question in my mind that I'm going to have breakfast or lunch or dinner or that I'm going to eat today? I'm relatively consistent with those things because I don't think about them. And generally, I enjoy them. I enjoy doing all of those things. Yes, somewhere deep down inside, secretly, I enjoy taking ice cold showers for 2.5 minutes in the morning. It's the kind of person I am. No, but I think you understand what I mean, right? It's not even really a question. So why would working on my health and fitness, why would buying more greens, leaner forms of meat, less prepackaged foods be such a big debate in my mind? Why would moving for 30 minutes, regardless of what it is, like I said, whether it's gardening or walking or jogging or dancing or judo or athletics, like wrestling, God knows what, why would that be a point of, well, I have to force myself to do it rather than just being a part of, hey, Mel B, is that you? Hey, thanks for dropping by and saying hi. Good to see you. Hope you're doing all right. Why does that somehow become an option, whereas all those other things are just part of my daily routine? And I think that's where consistency comes in. We know consistency pays off over time, all right? YouTube punk. Yeah, he is super fit. Not Bruce Lee, but Jace. I was impressed when he said he was 53 years old. It's like, wow, I wish 53 years old I'm able to do the things that he's doing right now. So consistency, right? Something we do every day, weekly, as a part of our routine. And most of the things that are routines are things that are necessary, that we enjoy. And I think we've come to enjoy sitting on the couch in the evenings watching Netflix a bit too much, or having that one extra burger and that one extra drink, alcoholic or sugary, on a Friday or a Saturday night, maybe a bit too much. Those are all routines, and we're relatively consistent in that, whether we want to admit to ourselves or not, because if we're doing it every day and every week, it's a routine. I think that's what we need to look at, right? And for me, despite not feeling 100%, I want my routine to involve these 30 minutes of exercise in the morning, because I know in the long run that's going to pay off. But I also know, despite not feeling it physically at the moment, and I'm feeling it now because I'm done with the workout, is I enjoy the feeling afterwards. It feels really good, and even the process feels really good. So that's the point we need to get to, friends, if that makes any sense. Hey, Jason, I'm gonna do this month. Oh, cool. Let me know when. I'll be sure to drop by. Human Burpee Complex, 15 swings, 10 also. Dan Jones. Started stretching every 2 months ago. Absolute game changer, isn't it? Absolutely. And I think those are the kind of things that, little things. Even 5 minutes, like I did 10 minutes of swings this morning, but I feel pretty good. I'm going to push myself because I want myself to come back tomorrow as well. Just to remember that I feel good, but I've been here for 30 minutes moving and talking and walking. And it's A-okay. You know what's not A-okay? And a part of my routine that needs to be replaced, my coffee machine broke. When I was 18 years old, 35,000 cups of coffee later. But still, I have to make different coffee. It doesn't taste as good this morning. Screws up my routine. I'm joking. But hey, look, here we are. Mel B, YouTube Punk, Poor Man's Gym. Thanks for dropping by. It's good to see all of you this morning. I appreciate it. It's good to know you're all doing well. And thanks for the chat and the update on the pull-up, and the link to Jace, and the Humane Burpee Complex. Who knows, maybe one day. The goal this year is actually twofold. All right, get to those 20 kilogram snatches. And we're going to the mountains for 4 weeks in summer. You remember the place I was last summer? You can look up the videos, same place. 4 weeks, I'm going to be doing a lot of hiking, so I need to be ready for that. For those of you watching, my name's Toby. I'm 40 years old. I'm training to live an active, self-sufficient and adventurous life. I do that by minding my sleep, minding what I eat, strength conditioning, mobility training, spending time with people I love and care about, doing things I enjoy, and generally living a stress-free life. This is about the way I feel, not about the way I look. I want to feel fit and competent for life. So that's something you're interested in. Check out my channel, subscribe. We can continue the conversation. Remember, we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. And the only way to get anything done, friends, is by showing up and doing the work. Thanks for being so lively on the chat, friends. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow.